So what has changed over a period of time that has given the emergence of or the importance of management information system? You all know that with the emergence of big data and the evolution of many touch points through which the data is collected, it is essential that is data ko meaningful banane ke liye we need to have a system, because all this data which we are seeing around us in the form of big data is nothing but lot of noises, and these noises are sometimes the data may have some certain value or sometimes the data do not have any value. So we require a system who can filter this information for us and help us in taking the proper decisions. So if that be the case, so if I have to define management information system, we can say that it is a part of the information system which helps or which guides management in taking predictive or proactive decisions. So if you look into the definition, it says it's a tool used by business. And again, I have underlined, you must have been remembering that I always underline the word which are very important, or not the underline, I change the color of the words. So in this case, MIS को अगर replace करने की बात करें तो it is just the tool which helps in decision making. It When I say decision, that means it is going to help us in generating some actionable insight. See, we have also seen that, and even Steve Jobs says connecting the dots. So unless and until we analyze the data to find a pattern or to find a hidden insight, we cannot come to a conclusion to take a decision. For example, sales is increasing when we say, so that means we have to monitor or plot, say for instance, 4 months, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months sales, so that we can understand the pattern and the way sales is moving up or going down. The same way, these MIS prime responsibility is to generate some actionable insights. And because it is going to be used by the people, so it integrates with technology. You can have cloud technology. I will be talking about cloud also. People, processes, and entire operations are streamlined with the help of information. And you must be I have spoken several times these days. It is the information which has become the king now. So for example, if you look at the Amazon, so Amazon does not sell the does not maintains the inventory of the product. Rather, it has the information about the product, where it is available and how fast this product can be delivered to the consumers. So that way, if you look into it, this business model, we are replacing inventory with the digital assets. So that is why the inventory carrying cost of Amazon goes down. So it goes with Misho. So it goes with Flipkart. So it goes with other online retail businesses. And this is the reason that they are making phenomenal amount of profit. So it relates to so since I mentioned about the digital assets, so in a way हम ये भी कह सकते हैं कि management information system is all about maintaining and ensuring the availability of the digital asset, which is nothing but information, which helps in facilitating the process of decision making, and also it helps in understanding how the data is going to be operated. I'll have taken some use cases and examples so that you can understand, because it is see, eventually it boils down to the fact that how companies are using. So if you look into the MIS of support of Amazon, which it is getting, so Amazon uses its information system for tracking the customer preferences, right? So which helps in predicting the purchasing behavior, and they accordingly they optimize the inventory of the suppliers. So whenever we are going to Amazon, it starts its recommendation engine is there in part of MIS, which is powered with this system itself, and it helps in, it gives you the recommendations, and it also have it scans your buying history and browse your buying behavior, and accordingly helps in suggesting the recommending the products and services to us. Now, this way, Amazon manages its supply chain efficiently, because I have also mentioned at one point of time that these e-businesses and the electronic commerce platforms are nothing but an extended enterprise, where when I say extended enterprise, it means that they are taking the interest, they're looking after the interest of the suppliers as well as the customers. So which means if they this MIS of Amazon helps in optimizing and managing their supply chain efficiently, which means they are now, Amazon in a way guide their suppliers what type of inventory they should maintain and what type of inventory they should not maintain. So this is again a very powerful system जो Amazon को ही मदद नहीं करता, but it also helps its suppliers in maintaining the inventory. And we have studied also that inventory carries a lot of good amount of cost, which is again an opportunity cost. It comes in the two form: inventory carrying cost and acquisition cost, right? So this helps in reducing the waste, and it also maximizes the sales, because now I am carrying only those amount of, or those number of products which people are preferring to buy. So this way, if you look into it, Amazon got a data driven success ensures, or rather it is guided by the principles of using MIS for managing the supply chain operations, so that the suppliers interests are protected, and at the same time consumers are shown and delivered the product which they prefer to buy as per their preferences, which we call it as psychographics or maybe demographics. So MIS is about making intelligent decisions for driving revenue and improving the customer experience. Say for instance, you all must have experience, we have all purchased things from Amazon. Suppose if you're a new user, so you will be shown all the products, but when you start liking the products, when you are selecting the products, when you are basketing the products, then the Amazon's MIS system starts filtering the things, and it starts showing you those products which are related to your preferences and choice. So that's what the purpose of this MIS as far as retail industry is concerned does the work. If we go with the banking second use case, right? So in this case, you will find that banks have we have done in our banking and operations, the major problem banks face is that the non-performing assets. That is the misleading transactions or the anti-money laundering. We have also talked about it. So there are many various aspects of the transactions, financial transactions, which leads to basically a fraud. So in that case, banking, like I'll talk about HSBC is primarily using AI based or AI powered MIS. Now what they're doing is they're using AI tools and technologies like machine learning, sensing, voice generation. All these tools they are using to detect the fraudulent activities. Now, how do you discover the fraudulent activities? Suppose if you are transferring certain amount of money at regular intervals. So earlier, what happened? The one person has to sit and observe for those type of transactions in the customer's account. Now, imagine bank has a limited number of staff, and these type of transactions cannot be analyzed for every individual transaction holders or the bank customer. So in that case, they have generated a system which keeps tracking the transactions movement as far as finance is concerned for every consumer or for every customers. So in this way, the system itself is analyzing a large volume of a data in the real time. So as and when the transaction is happening, the system automatically is taking care of it and putting up the red flags and the green flags. I hope you have understood the meaning of red flag. That means warning signs. If these warning signs are repeated, then in that case the system potentially identifies that these are the fraudulent transactions, and it gives an alert signal to the manager who is basically signing or approving those transactions. So in that case, this is a big boon for the banking industry, and this is the reason that most of the Indian banks are reporting less than 2% of their NPAs. So the point is HBSS has pioneered this technology, and their MIS is supported, very well supported, and rather I would say it is complemented by the use of artificial intelligence. So AI powered MIS continuously learns and from the patterns of normal and fraudulent activities and improving detection accuracy by reducing false time positive over time. Now I'll explain this sentence. What happened is that I have this programmer in using AI algorithms have written this, that if this amount of transaction, if a transaction amounting more than this amount occurs frequently on a particular date or a particular time, then observe this pattern. Now, the question is how machine learning does this AI based MIS is understands the behavior and it keeps on improving onto those algorithm which I have written it for them. So in that case, what happens? Not only it understands the repetition of the transaction, but it also tries to understand the behavior as to why on a particular time and why on a particular date these transactions are happening. So this is a big area of improvement as far as anti-money laundering is concerned, because now the system itself will trigger an alert, and in US and other European countries they have done this, that if it is a significant amount, an amount is transferring from one country to another, it also intercepts in between the Interpol and the information is shared with them, just to ensure that the terrorism should be curbed, because that's a part of the big part of anti-money laundering, right? Third case, if you look into it again, MIS, all these things I'm trying to give you an idea rather than what MIS is, okay, how MIS is important for organizations and how organizations are using these information system for generating potential benefit as far as decision making is concerned. So these organizations, be it retail, be it banks, and I'm now going to talk about the healthcare. Now again, if you realize healthcare, may you have a patient care management system. Now, some often we have seen it, at least in my times, not in this point of time. Various human mistakes are, people are prone to commit mistakes, giving injections, wrong injections, or sometimes anti-allergic injections to the people who are allergic to it. So in that case, you will find the Apollo Healthcare has done a great breakthrough in this, and they're using MIS for managing the patient data and tracking their medical histories. So what type of treatment they have been given earlier, what type of treatment they're going now, are they allergic to anything, what appointments have to be done, what are the prescription, what was the response of those prescription. So the system actually understands the communication between various departments. Like say for instance, I have an x-ray done, so my x-ray report will be consulted in tandem with the doctor's prescription. Both it should match, it will go to the pharmacy where I'll get the medicines. So this again improves the overall efficiency as far as the patient care is concerned. Now, why I'm saying so, because again you will understand, especially in the healthcare, first of all, one is the patient, and the second is the patient itself is going through a tough time. And if patient has to go all this nonsense of mismatch of information and getting the wrong prescription and consulting the wrong doctor, it creates a chaos. So Apollo Healthcare has done a wonderful job, and it is being, I think it has won an award also for providing patients with an extraordinary healthcare solutions, which has improved their benefit in terms of health. So, like another example in this case I could give you is that AI powered chatbot assists patients in booking appointments. Like, for example, half of the time is that in metros, especially in Mumbai and Bangalore and things, places like that, you have to book an appointment. So these chatbots are there. They can provide you initial consultation based on your symptoms, and then you need not to consult the doctor and then predict potential health risk. And based on those historical data, you can further go and have a physical appointment with the doctor for the consultation. So these are the areas where we are using the technology for the facilitating and improving the efficiency of the operations. So I hope everybody's there. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So another example I could give you is the healthcare. Now, sorry, this is not healthcare. This is an American Airlines. By mistake, I have copied the slide. So in American Airlines, uses MIS system to manage its flight operations, crew schedules, and customer services. So it also integrates AI now, because in that case, AI predicts and maintenance needs for the sensor. So you must have heard about the word called in Internet of Things, IoT. So what happened is that the aircraft has requires regular maintenance of the parts and engines and the doors and everything like that. So what they've done is they have put an Internet of Things sensors, IoT sensors. Now these sensors ensures and they monitor the performance of the various parts. Like say for instance, we recently we might have heard two crashes of the aircraft because of the engine failure. But the companies like American Airlines and Airbus, what they're using is they're using Internet of Things parts assessed with their main components, like say for instance engine and everything. So what happens, these IoT monitors the performance of the particular device जिससे वो connected होते हैं, and based on that they signal that this particular parts requires service, whether it is early or it is quite late. So in that ways what happens, this AI based information system helps in predicting and maintaining needs for sense aircraft as per as, and it helps in reducing the downtime and improving the reliability. So with so many examples, I think I have now made it clear, okay, that MIS plays an important role in the modern context, and that's the reason that most of the people are thinking in terms of using information. And for you guys also, whether you are working in a bank or you are not placed or you're not placed, you are basically dealing with the information itself. So be it the career related to financial modeling or equity research analyst, there you are also collecting the information. You are trying to make sense out of this information and present that information so that it facilitates the decision to be taken by the investor or the HNIs. I hope I'm saying the right thing, right? So with this we have come to the point so that I can explain you that the need of MIS. First thing is the business processes are getting complex, right? They are evolving, and everything is changing at a very fast pace. So it is essential that whatever information we are collecting, how we are going to use it for making the right decisions, right? As I mentioned earlier at the start of the class, there is abundance of data. So which means that you have huge amount of volume of data, you have a great value coming in from the data, you have veracity, you have velocity, and as well as you have great variety. All these contributes, whether it is volume, variety, velocity, veracity, or value, they are together contributing to make it as a big data, which means some of the information which we are getting has a value, and most of the information which we are having will not have or will not add any value. So in that case, it is essential that there must be a system who can help us in filtering this information so that we can use exact amount of information for making the decision. I hope, I'm taking an example for the finance students, so marketing students should not feel that way. So when we do this financial modeling and analysis, or when you have done your mergers and acquisition, you require lot many information, right? We have seen that in SAPM, fundamental analysis and technical analysis. In fundamental analysis, we are doing lot many things. We are taking lot many information from historical data of the performance of the company. But after that, you see the entire bulk of information is crystallized into the form of certain ratios, which helps us in understanding whether the company is overvalued or undervalued. Same way, if you go with the mergers and acquisition, there also a lot of information is being available to you in the form of financial statements, annual reports. But out of those annual reports and financial statements, you only take out using certain valuation ratios like PV ratio, PE ratios, to find out whether the company is overvalued or what should be the purchase consideration that the purchaser should give to the company which is going to acquire. So this gives an idea as to that MIS is an integral part, whether we are working with the bank or any other organization. Physical things are now being replaced with the help of information. And information key definition, if I have to define, it's a processed data having some significant value for the intended user. So before we move ahead, let's put it this way. For example, I am getting a newspaper. I had the newspaper. So in that newspaper, it carries the information related to all types of people. But certain, for example, if I'm a CA, if I'm a person in the finance field, so maybe I may be interested in certain financial business news or economic news related to my profession or a career. So that becomes information for me, and for the rest of the things which is shown in the given in the paper becomes in a data for me. So data is a raw fact, observations, and occurrence of an event, whereas information is a processed data having a significant value for the intended user. So if you look into it, the characteristics of MIS, it first, I'm pointing it that it follows the systematic approach. If you look into it, it follows a very systematic approach. That means it will accept certain input, it will process, and then it will give you the output. It is management oriented, which means the types of reports which are going to be generated by the MIS depends upon the level of the organization or the level of the hierarchy of the organization structure as to which person is going to use that information. Again, it's a need based. It doesn't mean that MIS is going to print the reports for you. You can raise a query and ask what if analysis, जिसको हम लोग sensitivity analysis भी बोलते हैं. So you can raise this question, that what if analysis, and get the performance done with the help of sensitivity analysis to find out. Suppose if the government reduces the RBI, so suppose the central bank reduces the interest by 0.5%, what will be the impact on the net interest margin of my operations? So I can do many calculations. This is again a part of MIS. Then it is again fifth point, if you look into it, it's a future oriented, which means these are the information which are going to guide me in the to take decision as far as future is concerned. Now when I say future is concerned, in the sense, again, it relates to the concept of connecting the dots. See, I can observe the historical data, I can observe the past, and then I can think about and predict about the future. These reports are very, very well integrated. Like you will earlier, you must have seen that, or we have also seen as of now, there are departments, the sales, purchase, marketing, these are all separate departments. And at the time when information system was evolving, these used to work in silos. Now when I say silos, means if I need some information as far as production is concerned, so we all know that production is related to marketing and sales at the back. It also connects with the inventory. So these type of integration people used to normally do with the asking for the information, and then they used to go for planning the production budget. But now with the advent of MIS, all the things are available, informations are integrated, and they are available at a one common place. And to best of example, for a manufacturing organization, I could use is that is enterprise resource planning, ERP, and the one of the biggest ERP vendor is the SAP. You must have heard about it, right? So these are the some of the characteristics which we gives us an idea that how MIS is going to play or has changed the way organizations are now working. Similarly, if you look into the long-term planning, they are talking about how you can take this information and plan your future. Now I'll give you a small example, manufacturing say concerned. Ashish, if he's there, he might be understanding because he has done his supply chain and ERP. Now, when I say ERP, enterprise resource planning, that means this is or for example, let's take Toyota is the company, and Toyota has a huge number of suppliers for different parts. So in that case, when the ERP of the Toyota is made visible selectively to all of its supplier, though only limited to those parts which they are supplying. These suppliers have a visibility of Toyota's ERP production schedule. Accordingly, they manipulate their level of inventories at their end so that just in time inventories are delivered at the Toyota and the lean production system is facilitated. Now, look at this beauty of the system is that neither the suppliers are building inventories in anticipation that the Toyota will require, nor Toyota is suffering because of the lack of availability of the products. It is just because that they are using ERP, and this ERP is an integrated software solution that integrates all the manufacturing process, and these manufacturing processes are shared with their suppliers, only restricted in a restricted way. That means if I am supplying part A, then I will be shown ERP part which is related to the supply and delivery of part A. So in the production budget, when I am the supplier of part A, I can only see how much part I need to supply to Toyota by the next week or so. So when I use the word long-term planning, I can also plan my, as a supplier, I can plan my level of inventories. So I'm not incurring any extraordinary cost. I am making profit, and at the same time, the production of Toyota is also not getting suffered, right? I hope I'm making sense. Anyone there, or everybody is sleeping?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, it seems that sab so rahe.
नहीं sir.
Please.
Well, sir.
Yeah, no, I know you are listening, but it is essential because I'll be giving you an exam paper and I don't want you to fail at this point of time, right? So
Yes.
if you look into it, components, these are all simple words. Matlab, why I'm discussing so much, because you all understand that in the end semester paper, if I give you the definition, what is this, what is that, what is this, I am sure chances are there, you most of them you will be flunking the paper. So whatever I'm discussing, like say for instance Toyota ERP, I might have discussed. I have discussed Amazon. I will frame question on this pattern where you are able to understand and generalize your thought and write the answer. So the idea is not that I'm forcing that all of you should attend, you must attend. The idea is that if you listen to me what I'm talking, so maybe something gets stuck in your mind and you are able to clear your end term exam. So that's the only reason I'm insisting that. And we are meeting only once a week, and 5 week I will be able to complete, 5 to 6 weeks I'll be able to complete the course. So I hope you are sincerely doing this course. So far you have been cooperating very well, but now at this point of time I don't want that case attendance short hai, so you will not be appearing and you will not be doing this. So be there in the time, right? So if you look at the components, you will find that there are sources through which you're going to capture the data. First is the data capture. Like for example, isko samajhne ke liye we can see point of sale. Like say for instance, you all must have been to Big Bazaar. So how it happened is that we go to the Big Bazaar, we enter the mall, and then we start picking up the products. Now these products have then QR codes, or you can say barcode and anything. The various technologies they're using RFID also, that is radio frequency identification codes and tags. We put them in a basket and we come for the payment. Now when we are moving at the time of payment, you will find that there is a processing of data taking place. Now what happens at this point of time? So when I was selecting a products in my basket, that was I'm collecting the things which I wanted to buy. Now out of the huge amount of stock available in the Big Bazaar, I picked up say a handful of 10 or 15 things, which means now this 10-15 things need to be required to be processing, right? So this 10-15 units of my SKUs जो मैंने लिए हैं, when I bring it to the counter, so in this counter is going to scan those barcode or maybe RFID or any other display QR code. They'll come to know the prices, and we feel that the work gets end here. No, what happened is that eventually this MIS system gets checks for the inventory. For example, let's say for instance I have purchased Nestle ka milk powder, and 2 packets I have taken it, and I have taken one, let's say for instance, one shampoo, Heads and Shoulders. So when I brought these three things to the counter, we think that the person asked for the payment and we make the payment and we are out. Now internally the system is going to check the level of inventory for both these products. We have seen that there are, for every stock keeping unit, there will be having a minimum stock level, maximum stock level, and the reorder stock level. The inventory में पढ़ा होगा inventory management. So what happened is that it checks. So suppose if the moment it checks and found that okay, the reorder level is for 5 units, and when I have purchased one, it has dropped down to 4. So it immediately send a message to Procter and Gamble without any permission or without any waiting for this, that the stock needs to be replenished. Now look at this. What happened is that the moment this information was stored, it was not only retrieved by me, the Big Bazaar outlet, it is also retrieved by the supplier. And finally, this information is now circulated in the system itself. This is the reason you very rarely you will find that in Big Bazaar or any mall or a shopping complex, we find that the things are running out of stock. So what they're doing is they are not physically managing the inventory, and the inventory is being managed by the system itself. Now, another thing which is happening in US across, I have shared this example earlier also. Normally, what happens when we are in the mall or in a particularly a grocery shop like Big Bazaar or D Mart, so when we are buying certain things, we have a tendency that because it's a huge space, बहुत सारे SKUs होते हैं, हम कुछ चीजें ऐसी भी उठा लेते हैं which we do not wanted to buy, but we felt that okay, देखते हैं आगे. So then in that case, at the end, the last moment when we are moving towards the payment counter, तो हम रियलाइज करते हैं आई डोंट वांट टू बाय दिस आई डोंट नीड दिस, आई विल बाय इट लेटर. सो हम उन स्टॉक कीपिंग यूनिट्स को कहीं पर भी रख देते हैं. Now the point is, these stock keeping units within the center itself, the inventory का जो tracking system है, that tracks that particular shelf or the counter, but from that very counter, that particular part or the inventory is missing. So this can signal the fact that the inventory is going down, but in fact the inventory is misplaced somewhere or the other. So in that case, the new technology, as I mentioned earlier, it's not new, it's quite some for some time now, that's called radio frequency identification. It comes in two form, active and passive. So what happened is that you can sense those where the products are now lying. Suppose I picked up a shampoo, but as I was going toward the payment counter, I realized 700 rupees bottle I don't wanted to buy. So I kept it in a tea counter. So in the rack where the tea bags were there. So now this product has been misplaced, but it can be identified before the inventory requisition can be sent to the supplier. So components, if you look into the MIS, you will find people, computer system, data, hardware, software, and the network and the communication system. Now, networking plays a very important role in connecting all the systems components together. So if you look into it, I have given all this for a computer system, those who are not from the computer background, though I believe everyone knows about it. So there are two things. One is the hardware, the physical component, which we see like laptop, and the software, the operating system and the application softwares. So in hardware, you have input devices like keyboard and mouse. There is a processing unit, that's CPU, and then there is storage, the hard disk. And the output devices like in the form of a printer or in the form of a screen. And operating softwares can be like Windows, and application softwares can be MS Office. So all these are various components of a computer system. So as I have discussed earlier, if we finally realize what is the purpose of objective of the MIS, so its prime objective is to capture the data. First and the foremost thing is we wanted to capture the data. Second, processing of the data. Third is the storage of the information, retrieval, and finally the information is shared across different users. Those who are the people who are going to use it. At this point of time, if you talk about many of our classmates, I don't know I have discussed it or not. I've talked about Zara, and I mentioned that Zara believes that they are not into fashion business, but they are into they're into the business of bread making, which simply says that the fashion gets obsolete very fast. So they wanted to replenish the fresh fashion stock into their store outlets as quickly as possible with a very less lead time and the replenishment of weekly. So in that case, ये कैसे possible होता होगा? This is only possible when the Zara store outlets are connected with an information system, and the entire information system is shared. Another small example is, for example, I in Kanpur I used to buy my clothes from Marks and Spencer. Now, if I go to Marks and Spencer Pune, they'll ask me, and the moment they ask, I'm asking for a bill, they'll ask that my mobile number. So the moment I press give them my mobile number, what happens? They'll get this information that okay, Mr. Sharma, entire history of my buying behavior will be shown to them. So in that case, the lady automatically sees that last time when I have bought a trouser or a blazer, I have also taken a purchased hanky as well as the tie. But this time, my packet which I am carrying at the payment counter is having only one blazer. So what she will do is she will immediately prompt me that would you like to look for a hanky or a tie. Now this is basically an example of upselling or a cross selling, whatever you call it. Marketing student knows better. So this is only possible that when the information is used, common database information is used across all the outlets. So again, I have discussed earlier, it is collecting, storing, and managing large volume of data effectively. Then it is objective, one of the prime objective of MIS, delivering timely, relevant information to support decision making. In this context, I have talked about the lean manufacturing system of Toyota. It provides tools for analyzing data and generating insights for decision making. Now, this the MIS has got a different types of tools also. Visualization, mein you must have since we are not using Power BI or Tableau. Otherwise, these are strong visualization tools जिससे हम data को analyze कर सकते हैं using different type of visualization like charts and graphs that can helps us giving us an idea as to what decisions are required to be made. MIS, another important objective of MIS that it optimizes the uses of resources through better planning and control. Again, you can refer this from the example of Toyota, where Toyota shares the production schedule with its suppliers. So suppliers know exactly when a particular part of the inventory is required by the Toyota manufacturing, and they need to replenish it. Again, it facilitates communication and collaboration among different levels of organizations. So if you look into it, as I said, name itself system. So when I say system, it means that there has to be some input, there has to be a process, and there has to be an output. So this continuous process goes back with the help of a feedback. Now we'll come down to interesting components of MIS. Let's talk about. There are four categories. They are closely tied up with what you call it as AI. So now when I say descriptive, so descriptive means what is the information. So here you will find that the lot of information, for example, in the airlines, or you can say in the retail. So what is the information means? This will tell you the status. Now that's why I have used the word in red. What is the information? That means what is the status as of now. So this is again a descriptive. So morning when you open the store, you have a descriptive report of the SKUs, what are there in your, or you can see it on the system itself. Now diagnostic is what is wrong with the information. Now you can match this morning status with the earlier day, last day's closing status. They should definitely match. So especially when people are sitting at a centralized store, they monitor this type of a thing, especially for the retail outlet. What I'm trying to say is, imagine a Zara store. Now there are so many outlets. Recently there was in news that Snitch, there is a new brand of company which clothing line. They opened their 40th 42nd store. Now that means these stores are franchises. So then the head office must be monitoring these franchises inventory, and accordingly they are replenishing it. So if in case they find that this information is not matching, then they need to understand that what is wrong with this information. So descriptive means the status, and what is wrong with this means that if status is not matching, then there has to be a problem. Third one is talking about the predictive. Now it talks about what if information changes. Now the question is, what if analysis you must have done, sensitivity. For example, this could be like this. Uh, if the sales is happening at a particular outlet, for example, let's say for instance the importance of MIS को मैं आपको समझाने की कोशिश करता हूँ Zara के example से. Zara in Pune area, in Pune itself, or maybe in entire India, they may, let's assume that 40 stores are there in different metropolitan city, and the Zara head office is in Spain. So what happened is that these outlets are maintaining irregular stocks, and the things are moving smoothly. Now it is essential that whenever these Zara store announce any sale, they cannot announce it on their own discretion. It is the company policy that when they are supposed to announce the sale and what should be the amount of sale. Suppose, imagine, I'm giving you a hypothetical situation. One of the store's outlet decided to go for a sale without informing the head office. Now, head office physically cannot locate it, what's happening. They can only see the report. So that is descriptive report says that the products at particular store in Pune is selling all the stock very fast, irrespective of the fact that they are offering some festive discount or sales. So what will happen is Zara will plan in where the Zara backend of supply chain will start pumping the stocks to the Pune office without realizing that they are selling the goods in the form of a sale. Now this will create an event inventory overlap. So if the MIS is not properly maintained and ensured, these such problems would definitely crop in. But thankfully, the MIS ensures that these loopholes and these lacunas are taken care by whenever these things happen. So these four type of areas are there, the information systems, which help us in understanding the about the importance of the information. So predictive talks about what if. So I could have done the what if analysis and come to the conclusion. And the last is the prescriptive means what should be done with the information. So if you realize, every all the four type of information MIS starts with the word what. So what is the information, what's wrong with the information, what if information changes, and what should be done with the information. So these are the framework on which AI is integrated into the MIS. So types of MIA system is again depend upon the user, as I rightly said, because जो information है उसको इस्तेमाल करने वाले लोग फर्क फर्क हैं, and accordingly there are the different types of decisions which they have to make, right? So for example, if you look into it, the at the base developer, you have the transaction processing system. Like say for instance, when you go to the bank and we deposit certain amount of money, so if you realize that the lady or agent sitting at the cash counter collects the money, and it gives stamps the receipt, and this is and it gives you the pay step. This is basically you're talking about the transaction processing system. Now the entire why bank closes, they're working at 2 o'clock or maybe at 3 o'clock, just because the entire day's transactions have to be summed up in the form of an information report, which is going to be sent to the head office. So they need time to consolidate all this information and prepare their daily report. So this is the first part. If the person sitting at the counter collecting the money or making the payments is basically a part of your TPS, that's a transaction processing system. From this transaction processing system, you prepare your day report, which is again called as MIS. Now based on this MIS decision, for example, let's say for instance Bank of Baroda Karla Fata branch is people are the customers have given enough amount of deposit, and the bank has got surplus amount of a cash. Then if you realize, this information report goes to the Pune office, and the Pune office directs that Karla Fata branch that they should start, or they should promote, or they should ask bank representative to execute the process of giving more loans to the people. So in that case, what is this they're talking about? They're trying to use this information system for taking the decision, because we have seen in our banking class that the bank's main source of income is the interest. So if you are having good amount of liquidity in your bank, that means this money has to be moved out in the form of loans to the needy people. And the last is the executive information system. Now this executive information system, if you look at the pyramid itself, so base per there is volume is very high. When you go to the MIS, it gets further synced. If you go to the decision support level, you will find that very periodic reports are coming. And at the executive information system level per, you will find dashboards. Now these dashboards are showing with you the key performance indicators, that is on what basis they can take a decision as to what is to be done. So this information systems we have seen the types. It depends on the clerical staff will be dealing with the transaction processing system. Middle level managers will be talking about the decision support system and the MIS, and the head level, that is the top level management, will be dealing with the executive information system. For example, Uday Mahindra या Uday Kotak जो भी हैं of Kotak Mahindra. Now he will not be talking about decision support system management information on TPS. He deals with the executive information system dashboard, which means all the executive vice president, credit vice president, these HR, all these people will be having meeting with the Uday Kotak. They are using their decision support system, which will be presenting dashboards, the shared dashboards with the Uday Kotak about in the form of executive information system. Because see, at the top level, people are not interested in understanding the uh, they would like to see the pattern, they would like to see the trend, they would like to see the the direction. That helps in taking them a good decision. So they're not understanding what is happening in the lower level. That is the part of the people of the president and vice president level. They need to understand it, and accordingly the policies are framed. So if you look into it, as I rightly said, at the base you will find that this is the basic data. The basic data means it is unprocessed. How many people have deposited, how much amount they have deposited, it is basic raw. It is just a transaction processing. But the tacit knowledge, that is implicit, that's a wisdom. If you go to the executive information system higher level, you will find the people, the how much volume of business we are generating and how this volume can be further increased is basically a part of the tacit knowledge. So again, as I mentioned, it is a part of your, if you look into it, executive information system is talking about increasing the volumes, increasing the value of the business, increasing the value for the shareholders, whereas the transaction processing system is nothing but collecting the basic data. So MIS में अगर हम देखें तो we are moving from basic data towards the uh, high cognitive level of information. Same again slide, I will not like to repeat it again. So we have talked about MIS. So as I said earlier, it was isolated, but now it is all connected. So you have a process control, you have a management reporting system, you have inventory control, you have sales and marketing, you have enterprise collaboration, accounting, finance, decision support, expert system. All the everything is connected, and these connected systems produce information in such a way that the decision making is fast. Now I'm going to take few examples so that you can understand what theoretical background I have discussed with you. Now, say for instance, sales and marketing information system. Here you will find CRM, that is again customer relationship management system. It tracks customer interaction, preferences, and sales lead. If I may ask you, what is the difference between a touch point and a pain point? Marketing students, hello, you guys are there or not?
Mhm.
Are you there or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
बोलना भी तो पड़ेगा. I'm asking marketing students, say what is a touch point and what is a pain point? Anyone? See, when you say touch point means how I'm connecting with my customers. It can be email, it can be a WhatsApp message, it can be, anything through touch point means on what basis I am trying to connect with my customers. And pain points means what are the problem areas which customer is facing, be it, connecting with the website, be it giving the feedback or being returned, anything. So if you look into it, when I say CRM, it tracks the interaction, preferences, and the sales lead. Now earlier it was not possible, but now if I have suppose if I buy a product and I have to return and the money has not been refunded in my bank account, I write an email. You guess what, within at least I have seen it in my experience, less than 16 to 18 hours I get a message with the status of when the amount will be transferred within my bank account with the hash code for that also. So this is basically they're trying to improve the customer pain points by using their customer touch points very effectively. All this is possible with the use of sales and marketing information system. Similarly, marketing research tool provides data on customer demographics and buying behavior and the market trends. Now again, it's part of the CRM because it is tracking the customer interactions preferences. This helps in doing great amount of research work and finding it out what customer wants and what customer does not want. Sales dashboards and report helps and monitor performance, sales, and track key metrics. So if you look at it, sales and marketing information system, the diagram looks something like this. You have a marketing environment where market, technology, channels, economy, competitors, and laws. You collect all the data. It goes for internal reporting system. Then it goes to the marketing research system. It also goes to the marketing decision support system. It also goes to the marketing intelligence system. Here you are trying to, in this all those four green quadrants, you're trying to develop what you call it as information. What you have received from the yellow portion of this is basically a raw data. Now so many things are happening in the economy may not be relevant to you. There are many channels. Some of the channels are working well, some of them are not working well. You may have competitors, but you may be few of them are very relevant to you. There are certain laws and bylaws which may affect your company, but most of them are not. So all these things are basically raw data. This raw data is collected in the form of internal reporting, which is used by these three systems to generate the information. Now, this information which is generated by this your marketing, sales and marketing information system, it helps in taking the control decisions and operational decision as well as the strategic decision. See again, these are very hypothetical things. Unless and until you have a chance to work onto this. For that's what I say that summer internship, if you have a chance to work at like say for instance Marks and Spencer, you'll say that's it's a very useless job. I'm trying standing all the day on the counter and making the sales and putting up the bill. But if you spend at least 15 to 20 days there, then you will understand the real nuances of marketing and sales and marketing information system, how these people are doing it, how these people are tracking it. I can even share an example. Suppose if I'm the month in which I am shopping is happens to be my birth month, then in that case that marketing and sales and marketing information system will give to the information to the person sitting on the counter when I go for a payment about a product. Okay, this particular person is having a birthday, so you offer a discount exclusively and encourage him to buy more products. Now look at this. This is the beauty of it, and this is again a strategic decision. Now, nobody keeps track of it when a particular person's birthday is, but this system is taking this information and it is using it at that point of time when it is relevant. If you look into the manufacturing and operation system, ERP, I have talked about it, that is enterprise resource planning. It integrates functions, different functions like production planning, inventory, and supply chain. I've given you the example of Toyota, where the ERP systems makes the portion of the system visible to the relevant suppliers, so that all the suppliers knows when the product is required and how the product has to be moved from warehouse to the manufacturing hub. Then quality control system tracks and analyzes the product quality and the performance. Then third one is the production scheduling software. It optimizes the manufacturing process. I think Ritik, there is a small request. If I can, if you can open your mic, I want to talk to you.
Yes, sir.
Dear, कितने students हैं भाई? How many students are there?
35.
Okay, please keep the take a screenshot so that I need to have the attendance for it, right? Will you take the screenshot? Are you there or not? Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm taking the screenshot.
Okay, thank you. So if you look into it, these are the part of the manufacturing and operation information system, right? If you go with the finance account and accounting information system, it talks about financial transactions, budgets, and forecasts. We all know that. It also in this system information system helps in expense management tool to automate process of tracking and improving expenses. So we have seen that, tally and all these type of an information system. Even these days, if you have to file an income tax, you can go online and do all these type of systems are there, which automatically prompts you that if you are following the new regime of the tax or you are following the old regime of the tax, these are the tax rates applicable, these are the deductions which you can claim. For claiming those deductions, you need to put this information. If you do that, the income tax is automatically calculated there, and then itself it can be made the payment also. So the work of CAs have basically automated to a great extent. So if you look into it, accounting information system, I have given the diagram, those who are finding it difficult to understand theoretical part. So you have as revenue, if you talk about your sales return and cash collection, expenditure, and all these type of. So this is from an organization point of view, how the accounting information keeps track of financial movement of financial resources. Now, HIRS, that is a human resource information system. It manages employee information, payroll benefits, and things like that. And ATS, very popularly, applicant tracking system. That day, the guest lectures were there for I6 session. They also talked about it. It is trying to streamline and recruit the hiring process. That is based on the certain keywords and the type of job description, whatever words they have used it. And if those words are missing in your resume, or those keywords or the action verbs are missing, then the ATS automatically trashes your resume. So even this particular thing, AI is also very widely used in this human resource information system. Similarly, training and development system track employee training and professional development. So one such thing was that earlier every organization would like that their employees to be trained on latest things, latest technologies or latest development in the respective fields. So what happened is that they would like to organize these sessions physically, but these experts are very expensive. So what they've done is they've tried to ensure that these type of sessions are organized online. बट इन ऑनलाइन एज यू कैन सी आप में से भी बहुत से लोग अटेंड कर रहे होंगे, बहुत से लोग सिस्टम को ऑन कर बैठ गए होंगे. So what happened is that the HIRS system keeps tracking the eyeball movement of the persons on the screen, and then it also helps monitors the performance and the progress of the training and professional development. Right. So if you look into it, human resource information system, again, I have given the diagram. Its application tracking system is there, payroll, then training, then benefits, succession planning, then performance, employee service, time and attendance, and reporting and analytics. I'm sure HR people, those who have those HR students, must be familiar with these type of things. If you are not familiar with these words, that what is the benefit administration, what is performance management, I'm sure. Then there are certain concept of called employee self services, and then succession planning and reporting and analytics. If you're not familiar with it, then please get in touch with Shraddha ma'am to get familiar or acquainted with this type of a knowledge. Healthcare, we have talked about it in the beginning itself. It says store patients, medical records, treatment, and billing information. And then is another one called clinical decision support system. It provides healthcare professionals with evidence-based treatment and recommendations. I'll just give you a small example of healthcare information system, which I'll be repeating it later also. So what happened is that suppose if, for example, every whenever there is a rainy season, you will find that we have got lot many people suffer from eye infections, right? So when you say that these eye infections are there, so some may be having watery eyes, running, red eyes, blistered eyes, so and so many reasons could be there. The doctors are flooded with the patients. Now the eye physician, the person who is doctor you are consulting, has a limited time to consult the patient. Imagine if this happens to be a sort of a pandemic sort of a thing, then what will happen? Each doctor will might be having to have to attend patients, let's say for instance 100 patients or 200 patients in a day. Then what will happen? So same thing happened in US. It's quite some time, a few years back. So there they have developed the system called as an expert system and a combination of decision support system. What happens is that I visit a ophthalmist where for my eye physician, there is a waiting lounge in which there are certain terminals are there. I'll be made to sit in front of the terminal, and the certain terminal, I'll be asked certain questions, and then based on this very simple questions, 1 at 10 questions, very one liner questions. What type of infection, I mean, what is causing you irritation in your eye, how long it has been, all these questions with the descriptive answers. I'll just put it up, and then from that very system itself a slip will be printed, and this slip will printed slip will have my name, my age, and all my details, along with the three names of the disease which is the most likely. Now, how it happens? I have created a database of all the eye related diseases, and along with them, I have also mapped their symptoms. So, when a system was asking me questions, it was trying to filter out those diseases so as to go closely to the those diseases which are matching with my mentioned systems. So, what happened is that it finally could trace out only three are the most likely reason. Now imagine doctor's time. I went to the doctor with the slip. Doctor looks at the slips and he checks physically the symptoms for all the three diseases. And then he found that first and thirds are of no use. I'm suffering from the second one. Now imagine the amount of time this the doctor has to give to me. It's very less. Diagnosis is very accurate, and I have been given a very priority treatment. So these are the benefits of some of the healthcare information system that is taking place. Now, this example clearly shows that as from the first slide, I said, if decision making for improving the efficiency. Now, this again, healthcare is a big place where MIS is improving the efficiency. So again, I have given you the diagram. You can refer to it, and I'll be uploading this presentation on a Moodle, so you can see to it. So again, with the COVID, you will find that EdTech and EduTech has taken a great shape. The student information system, it helps in managing the students' record, class schedules, and grades. Imagine how does MIT manage these students across the country as well as outside the country, also Dubai and every other places where they have it. They're strongly dependent on this student information system called Amazon. Now, Amazon is a place where, like here, we have the system that you get the reminder list that so many students are defaulter for third. They don't put this defaulter list or anything. It is as simple as it is. That means that when the moment your fees is due, it will flash. You have to log into your Amazon student area section. If it shows that your fees is due, so unless and until your fees is cleared from on a particular date which is mentioned, nothing will happen. You cannot get your admit card, you cannot appear, no personal involvement is there. So I'm surprised because I'm doing my PhD. I mean, I'll be completing my PhD from MIT. So it is amazing that if they say so that, yeah, this attendance is short and you are giving a back for one semester, nobody can change it. I personally, because of my mother's health, I could not attend one session. I was given a back for 6 months. You cannot do anything. So thankfully we are not having this system at our college. This helps a lot. Otherwise, the moment you go with the system, lot of the power from the personal decision or a managerial decision moves away to the system. Similarly, I was talking about EdTech. Look at it, learning management system. Have you ever thought that the way I'm teaching you, taking class, I'm sitting in step up room and you guys are sitting in your hostel room, lying on your bed. Half of them are sleeping and half of them are having holding the mobile phone in hand, and that type of a course and education is going on. Similarly, like for example, Amity also has this facility that, for example, they have internal assessment and then they have a formative assessment and then they have the final evaluation. So these all my assessments were analyzed, and based on the analyze, what they will suggest is that do I qualify for a scholarship and do not qualify for a scholarship. If I qualify for a scholarship, they will show me the Amazon will show me the form. I'll fill the form, it gets online approved, and accordingly my next semester fees got reduced. So these are the benefits of using the information system or MIS as far as education is concerned, right? So if you look into it, you have admission management system, you have library management system, you have attendance management system, you have online assessment. Anyone can sit anywhere and they can appear in the exam, and there's no hardly any problem as far as the online examination is concerned. And as I mentioned about the Amazon, that the fees management system, it is extremely powerful, and there like we have this regular reminders of that the fees is due. There nothing happens because nobody is there responsible for taking and managing the fees. I have also spoken about the Big Bazaar and the Delmart, that is retail information system, that is called point of sale system, POS. This process customer transaction, and it keep tracks of inventory levels. I've again repeated earlier also. The moment we purchase and get the things, go to the counter for payment. The moment payment is done, the system automatically checks the whatever items I have purchased. That particular SKU's ka stock level will be checked internally, and if it is close to reorder level, then a reorder batch size of a fixed batch size will also already be sent immediately via email to the supplier, saying that it should be depending upon the lead time. Mane, how much time? For example, reorder level is I have reached my particular stock keeping unit has crossed the level of reorder. सब अगर रीऑर्डर का मतलब होता है आज मैं ऑर्डर प्लेस कर रहा हूं, जब मुझे उसका ऑर्डर मिलेगा उसके बीच के समय को बोलते हैं, वी कॉल इट एज अ लीड टाइम. So if lead time is more, so then you will find that the reorder level would be higher. If lead time is less, reorder level will be lower. So if particular SKU takes 10 days to reach the display, sorry, this retail outlet, then it will automatically signal the suppliers well in advance so that the stock out situations are avoided. Inventory management system also helps monitor stock. मैंने भी आपको बताया. It also offers the customer loyalty programs and analyze customer data for targeted marketing efforts. I've talked about it. So if you look into it, retail information system is, ordering, procurement, all these things are connected, and nothing is works in isolation these days. Again, supply chain, warehouse, and transportation and logistic information system, IBM is famous for it. So transport management system optimizes planning and execution of transport operations. If you look into it, then you will find that OR में आपने पढ़ा होगा transportation and assignment problems. These are the part of it. Warehouse management system controls the management of movement and storage of good within a warehouse. And these are again, हम लोग बहुत इसके बारे में नहीं पढ़ते. This is a part of a supply chain operations. Those who are into supply chain, they would be familiar with the word called TMS and WMS. So if you look into it, I have tried to give you the diagram also for each type of a system so that you can understand and make sense of it, what we have done so far. I believe we are heading towards the close of the sessions. For example, that is the last one is the government and a public sector information system, that is GIS. It helps manage and analyze spatial data for urban planning, emergency responses, and more. Like, say, for instance, government has a bigger responsibility. Like, say, for instance, this Mahakumbh Mela, the Delhi, when there is a stampede happened. It is just that this information system, the way it was supposed to work, it didn't work properly. Two miscalculated or announcement were done simultaneously. As a result, this happened. So these systems have to be taken care of it. For example, road toll tax collection, road accidents, all these systems are part of your geographic information system, which government is responsible for. Taxation and revenue management system, process tax payment and everything like that. So again, I have given you the diagram for government and public sector information system. So these are the various types of MIS. I will not be going into detail. Maybe in the next class, we'll be talking about. Executive information system, I have talked about it. It's highly specialized, very precise reports are generated. Marketing information system exclusively deals with the data related to the customers and the market competitors. Business intelligence system is a quite wide in scope because it talks about how intelligently business can use information to their advantage and build competitive advantage. Customer relationship management is basically talking about the customer touch point and the customer pain points and how you can improve those pain points and improve your customer touch points. Salesforce automation is, you all must, those who are in the sales field, they must have to put up with the sales daily sales report. That's again a part of Salesforce automation. Transaction processing, I have told you, it's a basic processing system which collects the data. Knowledge information system is again, as I've shown in this one of the slide, tacit information. That is the system which starts understanding human behavior and wisdom. Financial accounting system is connect with the financial resources, human resources, and supply chain. Right. So lastly, we are talking about how MIS evolved with the AI. So the traditional role of MIS was to store, process, and report. आपने देखा होगा, if your father must have been working in some factory or something, he must have been carrying some big reports, production reports, and things like that. So all these were manually driven reports. They are just there for a piece of a paper. But with AI, you find that the MIS is transforming into predictive and decision making too. Predictive means, as I've mentioned about types of information, what value you slightly, what is the information, what is wrong with the information, what if analysis, what if the information changes, and what should we do with the information. So in that case, if you realize, predictive means that how can I use this information to predict the future. So in that case, you will find that automation of decision making, now processing in invoices and payrolls. So you will find that the normal routine work is now being taken care by the AI system. Predictive analysis, that is forecasting the demands, detecting trends, making proactive decisions. Like example, we have been using it several times in strategy class also. Netflix uses AI-based MIS to predict what shows will be popular. So all these things are there, which is a part of MIS, but now taken over by AI. Natural language processing, chat gpt or Siri, you must have been seeing, they assisting by answering customers queries instantly, right? So AI is helping businesses and in understanding their customer preferences, predicting future needs, suggesting personalized action, turning MIS into a proactive. Now, proactive means taking action before actually the things materializes. For example, Walmart, HSBC, Apollo Health, जो हम लोगों ने अभी discuss करा अभी in the beginning of the class, they show business across industries are using MIS to gain a competitive edge. Now, the competitive edge means if you are using your information diligently to your advantage, then this could be one of the source of advantage as compared to your competitor is concerned. Now, for example, what are the things these big companies who are there in the Fortune 500 list that makes them to stay on those lists for years and years and so on? It is just, if you realize and if you study that, if you do some research, you will find that most of them are having the information or the digital assets to their advantage, which their competitors will not have. What makes Geo so successful? It is the customer base, it's the digital information. Now imagine why government wants everything to be automated, and like be it PAN card or be it Aadhaar card. So if they have information about all of us, then it is better for them, or it is advantageous for them to decide the policies, come out with the frameworks, even control various suspicious activities where people try to avoid tax and they hide their wealth. So MIS is understanding how technology is driving the business success. So the future, if it is not that I'm teaching, so I'm giving you that this subject is very important. The idea is that this subject plays an importance in your career advancement also. And so is the reason that we feel that, yeah, if I know MS Excel, then I'm doing in a technology. No, Excel is a tool for prepare. What report Excel will generate and what that report carries in information will decide how your going to career is going to be progress, right? So I think with this we have come to the end of the right. So most of you must be there, right? So there are 39 students as of now, right? So anyone has to ask anything? Anyone?
No.
Guys, anyone has to ask anything? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, so we again meet next week on the same time. And thank you, Ritik, and thank you all of you, for joining the
Thank
class. And
thank you, sir.
I cannot say that I enjoyed because nobody asked anything and everybody was quiet, right? So, anyways, thank you once again. Right? Bye. Take care.